Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do the end of the year TBR tag. I'm shocked. This year is almost over. I love this tag. I watch every single video on my timeline of this tag from different people because it allows me to reflect a little bit on my reading and refocus on something that is a bit more important than maybe I'm reading right now. The original creator of it, I believe, is 𝕊𝕻𝕻𝕻𝕻. I'm going to link the video down below. I'm sure you've already seen it, but why not check it out again? The first question of this tag is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And of course, I have books that I started 3 years ago that I need to finish. They're literally on my currently reading shelf on Goodreads for 3 years now, and I still don't have the guts to just DNF them. Instead of relying on my memory, let's just check the Goodreads shelf. The first book that I see here is Winter's Orbit by 𝕊𝕻𝕻𝕻𝕻. I just started and I'm reading it with a friend, and so far it's very confusing. Like, I get the gist of it. It's a sci-fi romance set in space, and it's about a minor royal who has to marry this other dude for political gain. This other dude's husband died recently in an accident, and they need to straighten the connection between the two planets. But there's so much world building, and it is explained in the way that I don't like, plus all the names are peculiar, and I also need to remember the names of all the planets, so it's pretty confusing. But after watching Dune, it hits what it has to hit. I wanted to read something sci-fi-ish, but not heavy on the sci-fi, mostly on the romance, just because I'm a romance host. So I am tentatively enjoying it, or rather I'm allowing myself to enjoy it. Don't know what's going to happen next, but it sure helps reading books like this with a friend. I also want to finish The Demon Equilibrium by 𝔻𝕻𝕻𝕻𝕻. I was reading it in my 𝔻𝕻𝕋𝕻𝕻𝕻 vlog, and I decided to put it away for a bit because it was not fulfilling my expectations. I want to finish it because it's an arc, but I also just want to read it maybe when I'm more in a paranormal fantasy type of mood. I'm definitely not going to be in the mood for a western, so I need to refocus on something else. It's also an FF romance, so I hope that it's gonna, make me a bit more interested, even though the setting is not my favorite. I also need to finish The Time Slip Girl by Elizabeth Andre. I was reading it for a historical romance reading vlog. I'm messy. Like, I'm so bad with my content recently. I'm jumping from one thing to another. It's a historical romance mixed with some time traveling. Not my favorite thing, but I kind of like the cover, so I wanted to check it out. Plus, it was on Scribd. And for some reason, I dropped it and started reading a different book, probably for a different video. You see my struggle. The Helm of Midnight by Marina J. Lodstetter. It's a fantasy. I'm struggling with fantasy right now, but I need to push myself and to read it. I kind of hope that it's going to be a bit more exciting. I'm not going to lie, because I hope that it's going to pay more attention to the thriller mystery part rather than the fantasy part. But so far it's a lot of world building, and even though it's very understandable, I cannot seem to get into the characters too much. So I don't know. The second question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And honestly, at this point, it feels like I need a winter book to transition into winter, because it's snowing constantly outside, and I've been thinking about buying a fake Christmas tree, because I need a Christmas tree in my new apartment, and I was thinking of going fresh, but then I was like, I will have to buy a fresh tree every single year. Seems like a waste. So I'd rather buy a plastic one and use it like for 10-15 years. It does seem like Christmas and winter, or rather New Year's and winter, because we do not really celebrate Christmas. And I was hoping to finally catch up on my historical romances, because I've been wanting to read more of them, and as I said, I'm constantly distracted with other books, so I'm hoping to participate in the historical romance readathon. There's going to be a holiday edition in December, so I kind of want to shut in, watch the snow, decorate my house, and just drink a lot of cocoa and coffee. Just soak in the atmosphere and read some historical romances. I have some Lindsay Sands that I wanted to read. I've heard they're really stupid, but I just want a Highlander romance, because why not? I've been thinking about reading something from 𝕊𝕌ℎ𝔻𝕻 because she's been recently very popular on BookTube. I have 2 of hers and I kind of want to read them physically because I own them and the goal of this year was to read physical books. I also really want to get to Olivia Waite. I've been saying this to you for a couple of videos now, I feel like. I also really want to read that new historical romance book that came out in October, The Perks of Loving a Wallflower by Erica Ridley. That's what I'm hoping to do because historical stuff does make me feel wintry. It's not necessarily historical romances set during Christmas or during holidays, just regular historical romances. The third question is there a new release you're still waiting for? I think no. At this point, everything that I wanted to read came out and I failed to read it. I mean, I've read some new releases, quite a few of them, but I definitely did not achieve what I wanted to achieve. The fourth question is, what are the 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Usually I have very positive expectations of what I can do in a certain amount of time. That's my infinite problem. I'm always late because of that, and I always overwork because of that, because I put too many things on my to-do list. And I think this time I'm just going to stick with the question and choose only 3 books. So the book that I'm really interested in is Summer Suns by Leigh Mondello. I discovered it recently, actually through Twitter, and it sounds very Soul Kill Girls vibes, which is my favorite book. I think it's queer and dark, and I'm very into that premise in general. When people say it's queer and dark and cultish, I'm immediately all ears. So this one, I think I'm going to pick up. The other one is Darkness Falls by 𝔻𝕗𝕋. I recently discovered this book as well, and it's an FF romance set during an apocalypse or after an apocalypse. And you know how I don't like apocalyptic books, dystopian books, but for some reason I feel like this is gonna be a really fun read. The third book that I still really want to read is from my most anticipated. It's Madam by Phoebe Wynn. It's a dark academia book. I've been also filming a dark academia reading vlog and stopped after finishing just 1 book because I jumped on something else and I can't be tamed. So this one I'm really excited about because it's about a teacher, and the dark academia books are usually about the students. So really interested in that plot twist. The 5th question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Obviously, I hope every single book that I mentioned is going to be my favorite of the year because that's why I'm reading. I don't want to dislike books, I want to love them. Sometimes I go into books with moderate expectations, but it's rare because I don't have a lot of time for reading and in general free time, so I hope that every single book that I pick up is going to be my favorite. The 6th question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2022? I usually start making them at the end of December, but I do know that I will have to read more Vampire Academy books because I'm coming out with an analysis video and I finished the first 3. The second video is gonna be the last 3 books in the series, so that's decided and will have to happen. Otherwise, I don't have any strict plans. I will try to continue with my reading physical books rule because I need to somehow motivate myself to do that. Otherwise, no plans. These are all the questions actually. If you want to reply to them in the comments down below, do that, or to reply to a specific question from this list. Tell me about your reading plans for 2022 if you are already making them, and tell me about the books that you're prioritizing right now, what you want to read before 2021 ends. Still can't believe that 2021 is ending. It's bonkers. Also, I'm sitting in a very uncomfortable position and I am in pain. You cannot tell it from my face, but I'm in pain, so I have to finish this video. Thank you for watching it. If you reach this point, leave an emoji of a book stack in the comments down below to tell me that I did a great job. And I will see you with another video soon. Hopefully it would be a fun one and you'll enjoy it. But until then,